Donald Trump's love life has been making headlines for ages, and let's be real, he doesn't seem too bothered by it. But when it comes to Melania, things get a little more mysterious. From swirling divorce rumors to talk of affairs and her noticeable absence from key moments, people can't help but wonder, how does she really feel about Trump's alleged infidelities? And more importantly, does she even want to step foot in the White House again? There's a lot of curiosity about their marriage, so let's break it all down. According to insiders, Melania's relationship with Trump is more of a business deal than a traditional love story. During a chat with CNN's Jake Tapper about Trump's ongoing hush money trial in New York, former senior advisor Stephanie Wolkoff didn't hold back. She straight up said that Melania's marriage to the president is transactional, meaning both of them get something out of it. People need to stop acting like Melania is some big mystery. She's exactly who she appears to be, Wolkoff told HuffPost. She went on to describe Melania as one of the most self-assured people she's ever met. Someone who doesn't care what the public thinks and definitely doesn't feel the need to explain herself to anyone. Wolkoff also pointed out that their marriage works in a way that benefits them both. Marrying Trump gave Melania the high-profile status she wanted, even landing her on the cover of Vogue, which had been a long-time dream. On the flip side, Melania helped Trump clean up his image, making him look more like a serious political figure and less like the womanizing playboy people knew him as. As for showing up to support her husband in court, don't count on it. When Tapper asked Wolkoff whether Melania would be sitting by Trump's side during his hush money trial, she didn't hesitate. "I just don't see it happening," she said. "Melania does things her own way, and people still don't quite understand their marriage. She's not the type to willingly put herself in an embarrassing situation, especially with cameras everywhere. Everything Melania does is carefully thought out," Wolkoff added, "and she's not about to give the public any reason to speculate about her. And if anyone's wondering how she reacted to the scandal surrounding Trump's alleged affair with Stormy Daniels, well, she wasn't exactly falling apart over it. Wolkoff and Melania were once close friends, texting regularly. In fact, just hours before Trump's second presidential debate, Wolkoff messaged Melania to check in on her. Instead of venting or expressing concern, Melania replied casually, asking if they could meet for lunch the next day. Wolkoff later shared a screenshot of that exchange, using it as proof that Melania is fully aware of who she married, and she's fine with it. "It's not a traditional marriage," Wolkoff explained, "and she's complicit." So, whether Melania actually wants another round as First Lady or if she's just playing along for now, that's the real question. But one thing's for sure, she's not losing sleep over any of this. Melania Trump isn't losing sleep over what people think about her or her marriage. She knows exactly who she married, and so does Donald. A text conversation from October 10, 2016, showed that even after the infamous allegations against Trump surfaced, she was still making plans to meet up with a close friend. In fact, former advisor Stephanie Wolkoff even tagged the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in her post, hinting that there might be more to the story. And speaking of behind-the-scenes influence, it turns out Melania had a hand in shaping one of Trump's biggest damage control moments. During Michael Cohen's testimony in court, Trump's former fixer spilled some details about the dynamic between the ex-president and his wife. Cohen revealed that when the explosive Access Hollywood tape came out, it was actually Melania who came up with the locker room talk excuse that Trump used to deflect the controversy. Cohen explained that after the footage went public, Trump told him to call all his media contacts to spin the story. "We needed to frame it as locker room talk," Cohen testified, adding that this was Melania's suggestion. She thought it was the best way to control the narrative and minimize the damage to his campaign. While the Trumps insist their marriage is just fine, some who've worked closely with them paint a more complicated picture. One surprising revelation came from Anthony Senecal, a former butler at Mar-a-Lago. Back in 2017, he shared how Melania was actually warm and caring, but only when Trump wasn't around. He recalled a time when she encouraged him to take time off to visit his terminally ill sister, telling him, "Tony, don't worry about a thing. There's nothing I can't get here. Go be with your sister." But that kindness seemed to vanish when Trump was around. Senecal claimed that when the former president was present, Melania expected staff to stay put, as if she had to maintain a more distant, serious persona in front of her husband. "She just adapts," he explained. "You can't tell if she likes it or not. This is his job, and my job is to support my husband." Journalist Mary Jordan, who wrote The Art of Her Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, shared a similar take. She described Melania as someone who carefully crafts her public image, making it nearly impossible to know the real her. A photographer once summed it up perfectly, telling Jordan, "She's like a ghost. Everyone knows of her, but nobody actually knows her." And if there were any doubts about tensions in the Trump marriage, Melania's public disappearances didn't help. After the Stormy Daniels scandal made waves, she and Trump had what looked like a low-key and possibly frosty wedding anniversary. But what really raised eyebrows was when she abruptly canceled her trip to Davos, Switzerland, where Trump was set to attend the World Economic Forum. Her communications director gave CNN the usual scheduling and logistical issues excuse. But what Melania did instead only fueled more speculation. While Trump was in Davos, Melania made a visit to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. And here's the interesting part. According to Google Maps, the museum is only a 6-minute drive or a 16-minute walk from the White House. If scheduling was really an issue, rescheduling didn't seem like it would have been that hard. The fact that she opted for a visit so close to home instead of accompanying Trump to such a major event only made people wonder even more about the state of their marriage. So, is their relationship solid, or is Melania just playing the part? That's still up for debate. But one thing's for sure. She's always been strategic, and she's never been one to act out of emotion. What juicy secrets did Fire and Fury spill about Trump's marriage? Michael Wolff's explosive book, Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, sent shockwaves through the media with its behind-the-scenes look at the chaos inside Trump's presidency. But according to Wolff, one particularly scandalous detail slipped under the radar: an alleged affair that Donald Trump was still having at the time. During an interview on Real Time with Bill Maher, Wolff confidently claimed he was absolutely certain of Trump's infidelity. However, he admitted he couldn't outright name the person in his book because he lacked solid proof, what he jokingly referred to as the blue dress, a nod to the evidence that exposed Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky. Wolff's claim, while tantalizing, does come from someone who benefits from keeping the drama alive. Still, it adds another layer to the already wild rumors surrounding Trump's personal life. Now, if you want even more speculation, just take a look at the way Trump and Melania interact in public. Body language experts have turned analyzing their relationship into a full-time job, and their findings range from mildly awkward to straight-up icy. Every time the couple steps out together, you can bet someone will be dissecting their every move. How far apart they stand, how they hold hands, or don't, and even the way Melania reacts when Trump touches her. Take, for example, a rally in February 2017, where Melania noticeably flinched when Donald placed a hand on her arm. Some experts brushed it off, saying she was probably just nervous about speaking in public. Others, however, saw it as a major red flag, suggesting her reaction showed a complete lack of affection. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Analysts have pointed out moments where Melania's smile fades the second Trump looks away, interpreting it as a sign of unhappiness. Even her posture and facial expressions during formal events have been scrutinized, with some suggesting she often appears distant or uncomfortable in her role as First Lady. But here's something that's not up for debate. Melania's #1 priority isn't her marriage, it's her son. While people love to speculate about the state of her relationship with Trump, those who know her say she's always been laser-focused on raising Barron. Back in 2006, when celebrating her first Mother's Day, she gushed about how much she loved being a mom. "It's unconditional love," she told the Palm Beach Post. "You can watch the baby, every move he makes. It's just amazing." Over the years, insiders have praised her hands-on parenting style. In 2023, a source told People that Barron has always been her top priority, describing her as a doting and protective mother. Even Melania herself has spoken about how much she values being involved in her son's life. In a 2015 interview with People, she made it clear that she didn't want to rely too much on outside help. "If you have too much help, you don't get to know your children," she explained. Trump has also acknowledged this, saying that since his schedule kept him constantly on the move, Melania made sure Barron had a full-time parent around. This dedication was on full display when Trump became president. Instead of immediately moving into the White House, Melania stayed behind in New York so Barron could finish his school year without any disruptions. Once she did make the move, Insiders told the Washington Post that her daily routine looked quite different from Trump's. While he started his mornings glued to the news and firing off tweets, Melania's focus remained on her son. So, while people may keep guessing about Melania's marriage, one thing's for sure. Her main concern isn't what people think or even what Donald is up to. It's Barron. First and foremost, Melania Trump has always been selective about what she shares with the world, and that applies to her marriage as well. But behind the carefully crafted image, there are intriguing details about her relationship with Donald Trump that have sparked endless speculation. Some insiders believe their marriage is purely transactional. Melania's former senior advisor, Stephanie Winston-Wolkoff, has been vocal about her belief that their union is less about love and more about mutual benefit. According to Wolkoff, Melania finally got the prestige she craved, becoming a Vogue cover model and gaining influence, while Donald benefited from the image of a stable family man. Wolkoff insists Melania is neither naive nor blindsided by controversy, stating she knows exactly who she married. When Donald's hush money trial made headlines, many wondered if Melania would stand by his side. Wolkoff quickly shut down that idea, saying that Melania is her own person and wouldn't subject herself to public humiliation. Instead, she remained out of the spotlight, seemingly unfazed by the allegations. A resurfaced text conversation from 2016, where she brushed off concerns about Trump's behavior, only reinforced the idea that she wasn't particularly troubled by the scandal. Interestingly, Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, testified in court that it was actually Melania who suggested framing the infamous Access Hollywood tape as locker room talk. This revelation paints a picture of a woman who isn't just a passive observer, but someone who actively helped shape Trump's public defense strategy. But while Melania appears to be unbothered by the controversies surrounding her husband, their interactions in public have fueled endless speculation. Body language experts frequently analyze everything from her reserved demeanor to moments when she seemingly flinches at his touch. Some believe her distant behavior signals unhappiness, while others argue she's simply maintaining a composed and private persona. What is clear is that Melania's number one priority isn't her marriage, it's her son Barron. She has always been described as a devoted mother, reportedly putting Barron's needs above everything else. This commitment was evident when she delayed moving into the White House to allow him to finish his school year uninterrupted. Insiders say that even now she remains laser-focused on ensuring he has the best opportunities, carefully managing his future. Melania also holds her prenup in high regard. Journalist Mary Jordan claimed in her book The Art of Her Deal that Melania used Donald's election as leverage to renegotiate more favorable terms for herself and Barron. And when Trump was ordered to pay $5 million to E. Jean Carroll in 2023, reports surfaced that Melania saw another opportunity to renegotiate, allegedly demanding an increase in her monthly allowance and a larger inheritance for Barron in exchange for publicly supporting Trump's 2024 campaign. Despite everything, Melania hasn't ruled out another term as First Lady. In a 2022 interview, she shared that she enjoyed life in Washington, calling it an honor to serve as First Lady. When asked if she would return to the White House, she playfully responded, "Never say never." Her willingness to step back into the political spotlight raises an interesting question. Does she genuinely want another term, or is it just another strategic move in a carefully calculated life? Whatever the case, Melania Trump remains one of the most enigmatic figures in modern politics, and her marriage to Donald will likely continue to be a subject of fascination. In November 2022, Donald Trump officially announced his candidacy for president once again. True to her word, Melania expressed her support, stating, "My husband achieved tremendous success in his first administration, and he can lead us toward greatness and prosperity once again." In her interview with Fox News, she reaffirmed her commitment, adding, "He has my support, and we look forward to restoring hope for the future and leading America with love and strength." But with all the speculation surrounding their marriage, one question remains. Will they divorce, or won't they? Despite constant rumors suggesting trouble in paradise, Donald and Melania, who have been married since 2005, have remained publicly united. In 2018, former Trump aide Omarosa Manigault Newman claimed Melania was counting down the days until she could divorce him, waiting until the presidency was over to walk away. In 2020, Melania's former friend Stephanie Winston Wolkoff fueled the rumors even further, calling their marriage transactional. Then, in 2021, whispers resurfaced when Melania reportedly showed little interest in supporting her husband's return to politics, allegedly expressing a desire to step away from public life altogether. Still, those who know the couple insist a divorce is unlikely. Sources close to them argue that despite their unconventional dynamic, their relationship works for them. Mary Jordan, author of The Art of Her Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, suggested in a 2020 interview with The Guardian that their marriage is based on a mutual understanding. She noted that while they often spend significant time apart, both Melania and Donald seem content with their independence. Jordan also pointed out that Melania is one of the few people Donald trusts completely, and that she has actively supported his ambitions, even if she prefers to stay out of the limelight. But if there's one thing that got people talking more than divorce rumors, it was the moment Donald seemingly forgot Melania's name. In February 2024, Trump took the stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, to a roaring crowd of supporters. As he spoke, he acknowledged the overwhelming admiration for Melania, prompting a standing ovation. Clearly pleased with the reaction, he exclaimed, "Oh, look at that! Wow!" But then came the moment that sent critics into a frenzy. He followed up with, "Mercedes, that's pretty good." That one word, Mercedes, was all it took for speculation to run wild. Many assumed he had meant to say Melania, but mistakenly referred to his wife by a different name. Media outlets quickly seized on the moment, and even President Joe Biden took the opportunity to poke fun at his political rival. During an appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers, Biden quipped, "He can't remember his wife's name." Trump wasted no time in pushing back against the narrative, releasing a video on X, formerly Twitter, to set the record straight. He explained that he wasn't referring to Melania at all, but rather to Mercedes Schlapp, his former senior advisor, who was sitting in the audience. Clearly frustrated by how the incident was being spun, he called out the media, saying, "These people are really dishonest. They make up things constantly." Mercedes Schlapp also stepped in to shut down the rumors, sharing a PolitiFact article debunking the claim and dismissing the media's coverage as yet another example of the silliness of the fake news. Despite the ongoing headlines, Melania Trump remains as enigmatic as ever. Whether standing quietly by Trump's side or keeping her distance from the political chaos, she continues to spark fascination. And while rumors about their marriage will likely never go away, the Trumps have so far proven that speculation alone isn't enough to shake their carefully maintained public image. Donald Trump has never been shy about praising his wife, but when it comes to celebrating special occasions, his approach is anything but traditional, if he acknowledges them at all. Take their 19th wedding anniversary in January 2024, for example. Rather than marking the occasion with a public tribute, Trump was laser-focused on his defamation trial against E. Jean Carroll. On January 22nd, instead of sharing a heartfelt post about Melania, he spent the day firing off a staggering 46 posts about Carroll on Truth Social, leaving their marriage completely unmentioned. Then came Valentine's Day, and once again, Trump's idea of romance took an unusual turn. Instead of a private gesture, he turned his love for Melania into a fundraising opportunity. In an email sent to supporters, later shared on X, Trump expressed his gratitude for his wife's unwavering support, writing, "Even after every single indictment, arrest, and witch hunt, you never left my side." He went on to praise her warmth and guidance, saying, "I wouldn't be the man I am today without you." But here's where things got interesting. Recipients were encouraged to click a bold red button labeled "Send Your Love," allowing them to send Melania a personalized message while also, of course, making a donation to his campaign. While Trump's grand declarations of love might be unconventional, Melania seems to go along with it no matter what. Some observers, including former friend Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, argue that Melania isn't a victim in this marriage, but rather someone who prioritizes her own interests and those of her son. Social media reactions often echo this sentiment. One ex-user bluntly put it, "She's in it for herself and her kid. She's not a victim." Another speculated that she isn't bothered by Trump's alleged infidelities, writing, "She doesn't care about Trump's affairs and he doesn't care about hers." She's a modern woman, as she said before. They both get what they want. It's transactional. That perspective fuels ongoing speculation that Melania's role in the marriage is largely financial, leading her to turn a blind eye to Donald's behavior, as long as her own interests are protected. Winston Wolkoff has been particularly vocal in her criticism, frequently taking to X to call out Melania's actions, or lack thereof, especially in moments when public sympathy for her is at its highest. Interestingly, as Trump's criminal trial unfolds, one possible defense angle could be that any payments made to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal were meant to protect Melania from emotional harm, rather than to hide damaging information from voters. Whether or not that argument holds up in court, it seems highly unlikely that Winston Wolkoff or Trump's critics would buy into it. At the heart of it all, the dynamics of Donald and Melania's marriage remain as puzzling as ever. Is she complicit in the spectacle, or is she simply navigating an unconventional relationship in a way that benefits her? The debate rages on, and as the saga continues, one thing is certain: people will keep watching. Now, what do you think? Is their marriage just another political performance, or is there more to the story?